Hello, everybody. Raquel Palmisi here. It's been a while since I've done one of these live transmissions, and I am really excited to be back here with you again on Facebook and transmitting simultaneously on Instagram. It feels really good. So I would like to invite you, in preparation for what we're about to explore, to take some deep breaths with me, start circulating some energy with me, whether you're here live or whether you discover this at some other point in time. Doesn't matter. Spirit is timeless. And time is simply an illusion that we live in to give us some sort of structure and a way to navigate through this plane of existence. So welcome anyone and everyone that is coming on board with me. I'm really glad to connect with you. I got prompted very strongly to begin this, what might turn out to be a series of transmissions, I'm not sure. But because we're living in such tumultuous times right now, because we're living in times that increasingly we can't turn away from, the images come at us from all kinds of screens everywhere in stark reality. Images of war, of bloodshed, of innocence being lost, of treasure being lost. There are wars. There is strife. There are all kinds of things that are sewn together because our media is so closely knit now. And so many of us, especially those of us who have opened to the extent of healing deeply and doing the work of expansion and spirituality and healing and opening. Those of us may feel so overextended. Sensitivity is a wonderful thing, but it is also a tough one to hold and to stay open. So I would like to do my small part with you today to come up against the temptation of wrapping ourselves in a fear response, in being fearful. As we see everything in the structures that we have known kind of flying through the air right now, everything that we have come to depend on and to assume would be okay, our freedoms, our right to life, the strength of our governments, the protection of our protectors, armies and police, and all the other protectors that we have voted for or elected or welcomed in. We're not feeling that protected by them, as hard as they might try. Everything seems bollocksed up, and in a lot of ways, all these entities and the structures we have built seem to be just running into each other and banging heads with each other and falling down in a faint. And where does that leave us? Where does that leave you? Well, there's a couple of ways that we've been dealing with the turmoil. One of them is we isolate ourselves. We try to ignore it. We assume that things will take care of themselves. So right now, in this moment, I would suggest taking a few breaths, because what we have to face into is the knowing that that's not sort of working for us anymore. That as all the things inside our structure are blowing randomly around the place, and we've got our arms up trying to shield ourselves, we try to put things back on the shelves where they belong, and they're not fitting anymore, and they're falling off and they're flying again. Trying to go back to a paradigm that won't be recreated, that doesn't work for us anymore, leaves us in a place sometimes of panic, depression, and all the rest. I'll tell you, even though you may not like to hear it, and you may call me all kinds of names like woo-woo and stuff like that, magical thinking and everything else that I've heard over the years, as the things that I have said keep coming true in reality, I will tell you that we are in a major reset on this planet. Now, maybe you've heard these words before, but what does it mean, and how do we react to that? How do we become part of the energy that will create new paradigms, that will create a vision of goodness, mutuality, a paradigm that might even unleash the thing that dictators and autocrats and power-hungry powermongers are most in fear of, and that is our love for one another. And love, when it comes in, when it empowers the heart, really does make anything possible, even though it seems impossible. So a couple of more breaths here, maybe, because if you step back from all the flying debris in your structures, instead of trying to catch those things and putting them all back, if we step out of the structure, if we just step out of it and face into the wind of fear that is coming at us, because we don't know how to fix this. We don't know how to take a gun away from someone who's aiming it at us. We don't know how to fix these situations in the moment. But as we face into the wind of it, we begin to know something about ourselves without the paradigms that we've been living in, without the structures. We begin to know that the way we've been living for hundreds and maybe thousands of years has been primarily based on fear and protectiveness from fear, trying to protect ourselves and our families from being invaded or being harmed. But step back and feel the wind in your face. Feel it blowing you. That wind, my friends, is a wind of change. That is a wind that's trying to blow away these thousands of years of accepted ways of being and write a whole new way. We need you. We need the leaders. We need the mothers and the fathers, the grandparents, the teachers, the spiritualists. We need all the leaders, and we need those who are not leaders to find the leadership of self, to truly begin a journey of opening to a new way of being. That means not trying to just build on a better version of what was, because that is not working for us. We all know it. You know it. I know it. We need to rethink the whole thing. Who do I want to be as a human being? So if you are an artist, do your art. Do it with full throttle turned on. If you are a parent, let go of holding fear for your children. Teach them to think out of their boxes like you must do yourself. Teach them to recreate the things that they think are wrong in their worlds, in their friendships, in their abilities. Teach them to outcreate the problems that are chasing them. It can be done. It all can be done. The wars. These wars are a culmination of so many years, decades, I don't even know how to count it, of time that the vast majority of us have looked the other way and not engaged in outcreating the problems that face us. That goes for both sides. We have acquiesced to the mandates of those who said they would protect us. And then they protect us to death. And more, they ask of us more and more. They ask us to give up more and more. We begin to fight against losing our independence. We're playing the same game as they are. No, my dear friends, if I can get through to any of you, it won't take that many of us to shift creation, to get ready for life in new paradigms in every area of living. In every area. There's hundreds of them, and any one of us can activate. In at least one. The thing is, if there is something in this message here, it is that those things that are flying around the structure that are not staying in place anymore, those things are not meant to go back on the shelf. And those structures are meant to come down. And we are meant to face into the winds of change and become agents of a beautiful, new way of being and thinking that is not fear-based, that is the most courageous thing we will ever do. And the most joyful as well, because we will think of new ways of doing things. We will think of others as well as we think of ourselves. We will hold each other accountable. We will inspire, as I hope I am inspiring you, to grow a bigger heart, a more empowered way. Lose the ego, gain your spirit, have your spirit come in and look through your eyes and think through your mind and activate your voice and breathe into you your own divinity. Things will change every way, in every race, in every socioeconomic strata, in every place in the world. First you. First you. Thank you.